You've tuned into Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. Breaking news, the stock market has just imploded. 2,000 points gone, the equivalent of 6 trillion, they say. Gone in one day, vanished. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of news to cover. Many things have happened today. And of course, the video guy is on vacation, ladies and gentlemen. We got a live shot, a very recent live shot of the quarantine in Italy. You thought it couldn't happen in the Western world. You thought you couldn't be seeing the China syndrome. You couldn't be seeing the Wuhan syndrome. And yet we are, ladies and gentlemen. And it's getting kind of rough. Look, I mean, they're inspecting the cell phone. You know what I mean? Like, we don't think you're going to make it, brother. Looks like you've been on Facebook. Oh, no, they let him go. Look at that. But that was tough, man. This is just day one. Next, who wants to come? Who wants to come over and say hi? This guy is stepping up to the line. Oh, it's hard to control the people that are just walking by. So maybe you just got to pretend like they're not even there. But as soon as you start talking to these people, you know you're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Because, look, it's a national state of emergency. You can't blame anybody doing what they're going to be doing next. And, you know, everybody's got their directives. Everybody's got their orders. Do the orders still stand? Ladies and gentlemen, you guys love that one, don't you? Do the orders still stand?
And when it got down to the plane is 10 miles out, the young man also said to the vice president, do the orders still stand? And the vice president turned and whipped his neck around and said, of course the orders still stand. Have you heard anything to the contrary?
Have you heard anything to the contrary? No, they're just locking down speech, free speech in America. You don't think it can get Nazi in the USA? Oh, it's going to get Nazi in the USA. They just gassed everybody with Zyklon C. And anybody that's seen the Project Zypher report that came out in August of 2019 detailing this exact scenario, this super flu in the winter of 2019, 2020 that kills millions of people. What a coincidence. And that, you know, that got quite a bit of public attention. What a coincidence. Here are the symptoms. Shortness of breath. You can't breathe, ladies and gentlemen. We recommend getting, you know, whatever kind of vasodilator you can, oxygen as well. Get an oxygen bar. Whiskey will work. Just let a tablespoon of whiskey sit under your tongue and breathe in. A couple breaths. Don't suck in the whiskey down the wrong pipe. But that makes for a very powerful degreaser, if you will, and vasodilator. It'll help you breathe. Nothing like fresh air. You need the fresh air. People in the city are not going to survive this. They think they're going to survive this. But we saw what happened in Wuhan. We saw the videos. Everybody's gone. We saw the drop dead syndrome. We saw them liquidate and arrest anyone suspected of having the virus. And that's exactly the kind of rhetoric that we're getting from New York and other governors right now. They're like, we're going to track everybody down. We're going to be going through the infection tree. And anybody that's suspected is going to be quarantined. We're going to lock this bitch down. It's coming. Look, you know, we're going to get back to where we were at here if we can. We got sidetracked a little bit. The video guy is on vacation. Check out this video in Costco. All the Costcos are going nuts, man. And it's like, you know, it's like one of them shopping sprees from like a television show or something. You know, you've got 5 minutes to grab as much free shit as you can, except this stuff ain't free. And it gets worse. Now, so the checkpoints have begun. Italy is just a week or two ahead of schedule. But this, according to CDC and WHO insiders, was pre-planned. Italy was going to be the testing ground, if you will, of the deployment. We covered that in a previous broadcast. We can bring up that information again. But from that source, we learned all sorts of things about this virus. And they're forecasting 2 million dead by the beginning of the summer, the next 3 days, in this next peak, this first peak of Wuhan. How many more peaks will there be? Probably a lot of aftershocks. They'll try and restart the economy. They'll try and restart the world, and it'll just come crashing down. Everybody's got to go running back home and sheltering in place. And it's going to be like living on Mars now. You got to go out there with a respirator. It's like, everybody's been Fukushima'd. You know what I mean? So this, according to the American Hospital Association and the NETEC, this is what they put out to all the hospitals. They're expecting 480,000 deaths, 1.9 million ICUs. This is, what they're saying, but it's going to be worse, much, much worse. But already, 480,000 deaths. If a bad flu season is, 80,000 deaths, right? I mean, this is just going to wipe out a bunch of people, but it's much, much worse than this. And, what will be worse than the virus will probably be the full shutdown of the world as you know it. And, factories are going to, basically stop. They've already begun to stop. It's been quite a while since they've stopped in China, and everybody's missing, raw materials, primary ingredients. So it's not going to get better anytime soon. A couple days ago, we played video of the LA ports. Here's another video of the LA ports. Yeah, I mean, you can see the cranes that they use to offload from the ships. You can see train cars there waiting for, they're on standby. But the whole thing is empty. So we're now relying basically on whatever we can produce. You know what I mean? And since everybody's going to get sick here pretty soon, we're not going to be able to produce anything. So this is what it usually looks like. Okay, just to give people perspective. We came a little more prepared this time, as you can see. But the containers, or the cans, if you will, are stacked up like 4 or 5 story buildings. And it's like a maze, usually. And there's, non-stop movement of goods in and out, from ships to semis or trains. And so all of that is stopped, right? That's the aftershock that's coming. And potentially, I mean, this could be a catch-22 that keeps everything at a standstill for quite some time. They're going to be missing raw ingredients. People aren't going to be able to get to work. It's just going to spiral into the dark ages, basically. We'll be lucky if we can keep the lights on, essentially. People are going to have to farm, probably. And everybody's going to have to pick up a local trade, old school style. Every village, had somebody that did something to support the village, a farmer, a baker, a butcher, a shoe salesman. You know what I mean? But the cities are going to get annihilated. That's our forecast at this stage. I mean, you can hope, that some of them will survive. But the ones that stay there probably will not survive. It's hard to say, what's going to happen here, but being in a big city is pretty much a death trap. And, especially if you don't have supplies, if you got to go out there through the checkpoints and you got to mess around with what's happening at the choke points, which will be the grocery stores, the pharmacies. You'll get some extra attention. So, anyways, let's get back to the news. There's so much news happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a little parody, if you will. It was 2023, 3 years after the coronavirus ravaged financial markets. At the time, I sought refuge in the mountains and lived off fish and spam and the like. Is that your future, ladies and gentlemen? French Minister of Culture, Frank whatever, has tested positive for the virus. He attended the French Oscars with all of the Hollywood superstars. And of course, since he's the Minister of Culture and all of these Hollywood starlets are coming to France, they're going to be greeted and kissed. Oh, kissed, yes. By the French Minister of Culture. Mwah, kiss, kiss, mwah. Oh, so nice to see you. So nice to see you. And so here we've got a prison break in Italy. All hell went loose over there. They sent in the tanks and the army to try and catch people. You have to wonder what led to that. Where the inmates, like, if you don't let us out, we're all going to get the virus and, this, that, and the other. Did they take people hostage? We heard that the day before, there were kind of like riots as well in different prisons. And this is because the rumor has spread around that prisoners get it the worst. And nobody really cares about a prisoner. Nobody cares about an inmate. They're not citizens anymore. They're just like hardcore slaves in the slavocracy. But don't you worry out there. They've turned all of our megacities into concentration camps. More so in China, but hardcore still in America. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck out there. Ooh, Prince Andrew shut the door on the Epstein probe, say U.S. prosecutors. Guess he won't be coming to New York anytime soon. 1,400 cases in France. Excuse me. 1,400 cases in France, 30 dead, and it's 20 more deaths than yesterday. There's a lot more in Italy right now. It's totally gone crazy out there. The German federal state imposes a quarantine on 5,000 people. This was deleted earlier. Yeah, we got that. Death toll in Italy rises to 500 nearly. 10,000 cases. They're now, the biggest epicenter outside of China. They've surpassed South Korea. So that's rather interesting. You have to wonder, if the South Koreans are really able to get ahead of this thing or catch up to it now. Or if they're, kind of lying, but at a slightly lesser degree. That all of the numbers are fake, but that's besides the point. What happened to the video guy? On vacation. That's what we're hearing, ladies and gentlemen. Video guy's on vacation. Close schools now. Take your kids out of schools. Take a vacation. Call in sick. It's the end of the world. The end of the world is coming. No need to go out there. Get plenty of whiskey and all of the nutraceuticals that you can, ladies and gentlemen. And, we've listed a few things that you should have on your list, like magnesium and zinc. There's probably a few other kind of things you should be looking into. But, they're just having people kind of wait around, just wash your hands, even though this is an airborne virus. And they're like, a vaccine will come out in 2 years. Don't worry. You don't need a test. Even if you have a test, just, sit at home and die. It's no big deal. Just wash your hands, sing happy birthday. And, they're not telling people like, why don't you boost your immune system? Why don't you do everything you can because a tidal wave is coming? You just have to wonder, How bad is it? I mean, they really want everybody to die. You can tell just by the advice they're giving on television, what they've been doing since this thing broke out. I mean, these people are in on it. All of the leaders of all of the New World Order governments are trying to kill everybody and just take over. They're sitting on the vaccine. This is a synthetic virus, right? 100% guaranteed. This is a virus that came out of a lab. It was manufactured, right? It had like a UPC label. It had a name. It had a serial number. It had an author, a co-author. And it also has a fucking antidote. It has a vaccine already. They've got the vaccine. That's why they're running around smirking at you like, oh, just wash your hands. Breathe deep. Yeah, come to my rally. No problemo. No problemo. Everything's fine. We let this shit in, and it's an airborne virus. We just want you to wash your hands. They've been lying the whole time. They weren't even testing people. They're like, don't worry. What virus? What, you worried about a virus? Oh, they're not worried about a virus. You see Trump, he's not worried about a virus. You want to know why? He's got the vaccine, bitches. That's why he's happy. Right? He's got the vaccine. Do you ever think about that? And so, yeah, I mean, this is how sadistic these people are. You should really check out, the story of Trump. It's not just 666 Fifth Avenue that's shady. Mr. Trump lives on the 66th floor of his Trump Tower in New York, and the maids say he's got to have 6 of everything in his closet. He's an OCD for the number 6. And you ever seen like his penthouse? It's like, it's got all sorts of idols to pagan religions, the Greek kind. And, they're all into the mystery religions. They're all into the tarot cards, the Ouija boards. They're into, the works, the Podesta files, the WikiLeaks, the spirit cooking, the Pizzagate. It's true. It's fucking true out there. You're just like, oh, it's better than Hillary. It's better than Bernie. Whose side are you on? If that's the limit of your vision, you're part of the problem, and this virus has come for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt about it.
And when it got down to the plane is 10 miles out, the young man also said to the vice president, do the orders still stand?
Of course the orders still stand. Haven't you seen the Georgia Guidestones? Ladies and gentlemen, haven't you been paying attention to the eugenics programs, the fluoride, the vaccines? Haven't you been paying attention to the Luciferian ideology on television? They're like permanently trying to rape your kids, whether it's at school, the Boy Scouts, church, daycare. Wherever you bring your kids, they're trying to fuck them up. Who are these people? It's they live demonic out there. Quite literally. They are legion. That's what's going on. Have no doubt about it. So the video guy, they're just like, yeah, wash your hands. I know what's going on. See why these people are smirking at you and telling you just like total BS? They got the vaccine. This is a synthetic virus. It's got a label, it's got a tag, it's got a UPC code, it's got a serial number, it's got an author, and it's part of the Project Zypher that was circulating around in U.S. top secret documents in the summer of 2019. So, yeah, these people are trying to kill you, trying to kill everybody out there. What do you think about that? Huh? You want to go to a rally now? They let these planes come in. They're like, what plane? What virus? Here, let's go golfing. Check out your stock market now. But, these people are making as much money riding this thing down. And I'll tell you what, for people that are day traders, I mean, this is easy money right now. You just got to bet down on every stock you want. As much money as you can, just dump it in there and short everything. It's crashing down to pretty much zero. And so it's going to go from like 30,000 to like 15,000. People are going to become like instant billionaires shorting stock. Hardcore. Don't think like, oh, they're losing money. Some people are losing money. All the suckers out there are losing money right now. But the smart ones, with a keyboard that are plugged into an online brokerage, they're making tons of money right now. And you'd be surprised how many people that is. Let's see. Now everyone with a minor fever will be told to self-isolate. As Boris Johnson warns, there are extensive reparations to pay. You know, you've been probing into their dirty laundry. You've been investigating their crimes. And they're tired of, you know, being exposed. And so now this is payback. This is the dead man switch. Everybody know what a dead man switch is? So, you know, something must have been about to happen. Something must have been like, you know, somebody was going to go to jail or be exposed or something big time. And they're like, nah, we're releasing the virus. Well, something like that. We know that it's much more complicated than that. But it's definitely part of the eugenics program. Officials not ruling out shutting down mass transit. Of course they're going to shut everything down. Doctors say high blood pressure a major death risk. Core cofactor, if you will. Britain reports fourth death, but, you know, the numbers must be much higher. Know your symptoms. Oh, we now cut live to Donald Trump as the stock markets crash and confirmed cases continue to ramp up. Oh, this is fine. And you know what the worst thing is here for these people, the sheeple out there, is before they go to hell, they have to watch the whole world that they thought was awesome just basically implode. So, you know, it's very, it's quite disastrous, very dangerous to ignore what's going on out there. Everything's explained in the Bible. And just a few weeks before all of this broke out, in fact, the Chinese were like, we're going to rewrite the Bible. That's what they said. Look at them now, bitches. You know what I mean? Look at the whole world now. The whole beast system is, you know, crumbling down. So, you know, the devil's a betrayer. You know, all these people that are demonically possessed, you know, were instructed by the devil. You know, we're releasing the virus. This is our master plan. And all the demons, you know, like lemmings jumping off the cliff, they're like, yeah. They're in San Francisco now. Confirmed cases and high school closures. California, with the 5th largest economy in the world, does not have access to tests. The New Yorkers took it into their own hands. You know, every state is going to have to take control of their own destiny here. Just a reminder, don't talk to anyone. Don't touch anyone. Every Costco out there is pretty much, you know, going berserk. Why is it just Costco is the question. You know, it's a red brand, if you will. Like red like the dark side in Star Wars. You'd be surprised actually how well that logic works. Red over blue, superior position. They think they're superior. We're not going to get into that. But they're all flooding into this, you know, eugenics warehouse to get super spread. I mean, this is like a death factory. Like, you got all these people, like, you know, herding in like cows into the slaughterhouse, getting infected. Getting stuff that's, you know, toxic, made from China, basically. You know what I mean? You have to wonder if Sam's Club is any better. But most of the stuff we buy is, you know, especially the cheap stuff, is eugenics. Most of the food you get, the chlorinated chicken with the growth hormones. I mean, they're obviously trying to kill you people. And you just have to wonder if we don't live in the movie Idiocracy. You know, some people are like, oh, we live in the Truman Show, we live in the Matrix. I think it's Idiocracy. You got people that should be, you know, super smart. You know, I got the same education as, you know, everybody else. And look at these sheeple. Look at them now running, you know, getting contaminated, expending their energy. You know, they're going to run around. They're going to be so drained just after getting toilet paper. And, you know, there's nothing left. You can't eat toilet paper. And you can only fit so much in a shopping cart. Oh, this was priceless. This was in British Columbia. And it's like, we gotta blow this up. How bad do you want ranch dressing, bitches? How bad do you want it? You want it this bad? You want it this bad? She's even got the nipples going, too. I'm sorry I had to say that. But she's got the whole Batman demon-looking thing going. You should really check out that picture and blow it up. It's really wicked. And it might be a San Francisco kind of person, you know? Because it's got the dual binary thing going on. It's really weird. These people are really weird. It is 6:30 a.m., the witch's hour. Costco opens at 7. Somewhere far away is the entrance to the store. It's like this everywhere. Costco Coventry. It's like a war just for toilet paper. Everywhere. And that's all they can fit. I mean, they run in there. They get like five of these things of toilet paper. They bring it home. There goes their whole day. You know, they've been in line all day getting contaminated. And now they got to get food. You know, food supplies are going to go out for quite a while. Check out these Einsteins. Look at that shit. I don't know what they were, you know, doing, really. Was it Febreze? We've heard of cases of like air freshener, aerosols. Never, you know, spray shit in the vehicle and then light a lighter, right? Lesson number 1. Look at that. That's trippy, man. Yeah, the port's totally empty. And if you're all stocked up, feeling happy, think about these poor dudes. A lot of them are vets. And, you know, a lot of people are going to get taken out. And most of the sheeple out there, vets not included, but most of the sheeple out there are victims of the system. You know, they've been indoctrinated and brainwashed into devolution and the Santa Claus and, you know, MTV and the like. They never even had a chance. That's why there needs to be a big correction. There needs to be a purge. We need to get this country back. Ladies and gentlemen. You know, there's a church in every town. We're a Christian country. That's who we are. And these Luciferians have tried to steal it from us. And this virus is basically going to make them pay. Virologists in Italy say there's a sign of what could be coming. More testing led authorities to realize the virus is far more widespread. That's why they don't want to test. Like, what? Testing? For a virus? No. Not for our virus. We can test for the flu. How about we test you for the flu? You know, and they'll keep you in the hospital for like a week. Make sure they kill you. You know, and these hospitals are going to be a death trap. Home testing kits will reduce exposure. No kidding. You think they could have put that in place by now? Columbia cancels classes. Princeton as well. New York shutting down. So, yeah, here's the army, you know, coming after the jailbreakers. They sent in the tanks. Some incredible reporting out of LA, deserted oil fields and toxic fumes. And that's another reason why, you know, this virus is going to be a huge killer in the cities. You know, the toxic fumes will make everything worse. And so will like bleach and, you know, whatever cleaners and detergents you might be using. You should really go scent-free, fresh air, and nutraceuticals. California schools have canceled classes. The ports are empty. Here's a report by the LA Times. Tons of people losing their jobs. Qatar closing all schools. Iran, bunch of new cases. Spain has reported quite a few cases and new deaths over there. The head of the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, bus terminal has coronavirus. They've all got coronavirus. And we're learning, you know, CPAC was contaminated. Everybody there, including the president, contaminated. So either they got the vaccine or they don't have the vaccine. We're going to find out real soon. If they don't have the vaccine, then it's a Chinese sneak attack. And they'll probably, you know, nuke us and then come invade. EU chaos. Turkish troops pull down the the border fence to let the migrants in. So they're actually attacking Europe now. U.S. Congressman says that he's got the virus as well as the staff. Doctors warn UK hospitals running out of protective equipment already. 30-year-old lungs shot through. Steel factories going up in smoke. And there's been a lot of mysterious fires. Probably dead bodies in there. U.S. coronavirus cases, 619. That was 5 hours ago. But again, this virus was engineered to infect everyone before the first cases really started making it to the ICU. That's how contagious this thing is. Super, super contagious. And so, everybody in the country potentially has been infected already. You really have to operate under that premise at this stage. And the higher the virus load, the worse the symptoms will be. Whether that be in a community or in your home, if you got multiple people there, or in your body. And so you always want to flush it out, with fresh air, with lots of water, coffee, cranberry juice, whatever. Piss it out, manage the waste. You got to be OCD, because otherwise it'll be a source of reinfection. So you got to do the laundry every day, twice a day even. Make sure you're squeaky clean. It's very important. New York has the most coronavirus cases in the nation. This is a real sad case. Tells us a little bit about what's going on in Italy. But this guy says that he's been locked in his house with his dead sister for 24 hours. They've been waiting 24 hours for somebody to come pick up the body. So how many bodies are there really? And that's what we're saying is, this story is going to get worse and worse. So they're just trying to prep everybody now to kind of shelter in place. And they're just going to try and bury you alive in your, in your district, wherever that might be. That's what they did in Wuhan. That's what they'll do everywhere else. And they'll lock everything down, and eventually you'll just, basically die of starvation or something like that. And of course, all the supplies are going to be cut off. So it's not like you can go to the store anyways. And if you do go out, they'll just arrest you. So your choice is basically to die slowly at home or to go out and get arrested and they'll kill you some other way. There you go. Italy closed for business until further notice. Breaking news. Jailbreak happening. That was pretty spectacular. Kids didn't get it, they said. The economy wouldn't collapse, they said. Oh, yeah, it's much worse. They should have been, watching STFN, right? Let's see. A busy expert in China. Looks like Australian politician was busted getting the quid pro quo. Hookers for, the yes ma'am kind of situation. President Trump has sought to present coronavirus figures more favorable than reality, suggesting more optimistic vaccine timelines, contradicting public health officials, and questioning fatality rates. Halo body camera, which is kind of creepy here, will be able to identify you in real time if you're, if you got any warrants or anything. So they'll just walk by you and they'll get a little, vibration. Senator Cruz self-quarantines. Coronavirus could be spreading in cash, mail, Amazon. And federal prisons don't have kits, etc., etc. I think you get the idea. Why are they spraying this down? To reduce community virus load. Look into that. Think about that. And check out our previous broadcasts for more. Check out our Twitter. You can find the link in the video description. Right now we're broadcasting live on ScrewTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, find out where our ScrewTube is at stfnreport.com, and you can join the live chat. And you can also see all of these updates at stfnreport.com. Oh, this is rather important. What does mild really mean? Mild for a positive test includes pneumonia for most people. 80% of cases are mild, but that doesn't mean that it's mild at all. So, they just sell it to you. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And so, more confirmation that the R naught, or the infection number of this virus, is totally demonic, and way above like 2. If they say that, well, look, I mean, this thing is so infectious that chances are the whole country got infected weeks ago. Roadblocks, checkpoints are beginning. Stock market bloodbath. All sorts of reports of people being infected. Politicians, celebrities, armed services, command and control, everyone. So, including the president. So is this some kind of sneak attack? Do they have the vaccine? We're going to find out. But look, every big city is going to go Wuhan. It's going to be pretty much impossible to resupply. It's going to look like the movie I Am Legend or Book of Eli. Prepare for the last stand. You've been warned. You've only got days, maybe a week or 2 before this starts affecting your area and before they start going to the next phase, which is the liquidation. We're just about there. So, maintain your strength and your composure, manage your fatigue, manage the disease, and, be a survivor out there. But supplies are going to make all the difference. Most of the sheep will die out, a couple weeks after the lockdown due to starvation. So try to get 6 months or a year's worth of grains, things that you can, survive on, vitamins, tablet form that, that will last and that are easy to carry around. You're either going to be a nomad or some kind of farmer or whatever, but if the goon squad comes into your town, you know what to do out there. And remember, these death towers will make the situation worse. Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.